All right, we're back, and we got a very, very special guest on the show today. I want to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you feeling, man?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me today. Thank you very much.
Mike, it's truly an honor.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Mr. Mack.
I've been, not for nothing, like, I've been super stoked about this interview. I've honestly been, like, counting the days like Christmas, literally. Like, because it's been a while. Like, I tried to do this last year with you, and, you were so busy, but we're here now, so.
We're here.
This is amazing. If you guys don't know, Mike, one of the set designers from the Terrifier 3 and 4 coming soon. We don't have like a official
set builder.
Let me correct that. He's doing some amazing things. But before we get into all the wonderful things that we're doing today, we're going to get into the intro and we'll be right back. Welcome to the Jmack Experience Podcast. This show is for motivational purposes only. However, we will not be politically correct, but our goal is to inspire those who listen and watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us at the Jmack Experience Podcast and email us if you would like to be a guest on our platform at the Jmack Experience Podcast at gmail.com. Peace. I want to give you another round of applause once again. Not for nothing. Yeah.
Easy does it, everyone. Easy.
Please don't jump out your seats.
Relax, it's only me. Calm down.
Episode 125, as I said before, Mike is finally here. So, basically, like, before we get to all the wonderful things that you've done in your career, I want to start from the very beginning, more or less, right? So for those out there who are not familiar with who you are, what's your name and where are you from?
Well, my name is Mike. I work for Bill Diamond Productions, and I've been with Bill now for just about 20 years, doing pretty much whatever the production company needs. And started at the bottom, just like everybody else, with a broom in one hand and, aspirations and good thoughts in the other, and, worked my way up.
Absolutely. But before you got into like film and stuff like that, where are you from? You say you're from Connecticut, right? Before we started?
Yep. Me and my wife, we live in Connecticut, in New Haven, Connecticut, to be specific. Born in Tarrytown, New York. Some would refer to it as Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, wow. That's where the Headless Horseman is from, right?
Yep. Not too far. Ichabod Crane and all those guys. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. So how was it growing up? Because that's different. Usually when people mention New York, they're either from the Bronx, Manhattan, Queens. How was it growing up over there?
Well, we born down there in Lower Westchester, then grew up in Dutchess County. So grew up a little bit more in the suburbs. So I did have a lot of family that was still down in the city and everything like that. But it was a nice place to grow up. It was quiet. It was calm. Yeah. I went to John Jay High School in East Fishkill, New York. And, that was an experience.
Yeah. Is it really like a spooky town out there, or is that like just a myth, like what they say? They have Salem, Mass over here.
Well, yeah, Sleepy Hollow. They do a lot of stuff in Sleepy Hollow for, around Halloween and all of that stuff, and then they do some stuff at Christmas and all of that stuff where they do a marching of Jesus. They do like a reenactment of Christ kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. So basically what I'm trying to get at is like, because you say you grew up in the suburbs and stuff like that. Like, who inspired you like early on, like more or less to get into like film, and was that something you wanted to do your whole life or just happened?
Well, I wound up as a carpenter working for most of my life. And then that kind of translated to when I met Bill actually at a Comic-Con. And I thought, well, this is a really great guy. And he said, where do you live? And I said, I live here. He's like, oh, geez, that's 2 towns from me.
Yeah.
What do you do? Told him and this, that, and the other thing. And, well, can you come by the studio one day and help me build a set? And, it's kind of gone from there.
Got you. Okay.
It's kind of going off from there, yeah.
So that's literally how it started. You were literally this is more or less like being at the right place at the right time. Isn't that wild?
It's usually how things go, yeah.
Yeah. My bad. I know we're having some technical difficulties here, but you're good. You can just leave. Yeah, it'll still catch.
I was fading out. I could hear it.
Yeah, no worries. So which Comic-Con was this? Was this the one like in... It
was actually a chiller in New Jersey. Was in the Meadowlands. To tell you how long ago, if you were a chiller fan, it's been around over 30 years, and it was probably 21 years ago.
Yeah.
As it was then, yeah.
Okay, 21 years ago. Wow, that's a while. And so what I'm trying to get at is like you were at the Comic-Con just randomly. Did he have like his own, was the franchise out already, or he was like in the beginning stages more or less?
No, Bill's been doing Comic-Cons for over 50 years. His career has spanned many, many decades, working with such greats as Jim Henson and David Bowie and, all these projects and Labyrinth and Dark Crystal and many of his own and things like that. So that was what we were doing.
Gotcha. Okay, so you met Bill Diamond first, and then this is before, obviously, you met Damien, right?
Oh, yeah. I met Damien through Bill.
Okay.
Bill met Damien actually at a Comic-Con of all things. It was he was introduced to him by Dan Roebuck.
Right.
Because we do a lot of stuff for Dan Roebuck's movies. We make a lot of his sets and do a lot of lighting for Dan and his movies and his projects. And he said to Damien, "Hey, look, you should talk to Bill. You know, he does these big sets and things. You should talk to him."
Yeah.
And they introduced, and they had a meeting. And a couple of months later, we were making sets for Terrifier 3.
This is wild. All right, so I just want to backtrack just a little bit. So, like, you said you were a carpenter, right, for
Yes.
many years.
Yeah.
To make that transition into film and Hollywood and stuff like that, that's so crazy, right?
Set building is carpentry.
Yeah, right.
So that's
right.
where I kind of stepped into it, helping Bill build sets and panels and stuff like that, 4x4 panels and set
Right.
pieces and things like that. And then kind of learning the art of decorating them and set props and then lighting and a little bit of cinematography.
Yeah.
And, Bill is a great guy to learn from. There's not too many better.
And you're open to learning. That's a good thing, because some people are like, I only do this. I don't want to learn nothing else.
Yeah. It's, if you're not willing to learn, not willing to learn, it's just, why bother?
Exactly. I get it. So, all right. So now, before you get to what I'm trying to get at is, like, before you got to the Terrifier 3, was that your first major production, or did you do stuff before that as well?
I helped Bill build sets for lots of other things in the past that I was never actually on set with, but I did help construct some sets for some of the projects. Lots of commercials that he's worked on for various companies over the years, and helped them, things like that.
Gotcha. Okay, that's awesome. Now, all right. So now, when did we start? Because the Terrifier 3, it dropped 2024, more or less, right? That's when it premiered.
Yep, came out October 11th, 2024.
All right. And then when did you start working on that? Like, more or less, like, was it a year before? How long did it take to make this movie is what I'm trying to get at.
It was a really quick movie. They did the teaser in the very beginning there, the one where he was in the house with the little girl and all of that. That was shot October, November of 23. Principal photography started in February of 24.
Gotcha. So this is like literally almost only a year, more or less, took to complete the whole thing.
Half a year, less than half a year.
That's fast. Yeah.
But it was a very fast turnaround.
Yeah, because movies like that, I mean, there's movies take like 2-3 years sometimes,
Projects can take a long time.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so, I know they don't give you like they just tell you what to do and then you do it, more or less. That's how it works, right? In your profession?
When it comes to what we're doing, Bill would do a rendering or a drawing of a set. Let's just use the Christmas set, for example, the one that was shot in the mall.
One of my favorites.
Bill did a rendering of a few different renderings of the sets and submitted them into Damien, and Damien looked at them and said, "Hey, this is the one I like." So he came back and said, "Hey, this is the one we got to build."
Gotcha.
So we went to the studio, we went to the prop department, we took our things, we constructed the sets. We have a full workshop and a full carpentry shop, and we're able to just fabricate anything.
Absolutely.
And we have some of the greatest fabricators that are around at our disposal. Bill's son, Richie, is a master metal fabricator. We have him. We have special effects people that are great with the computer digital animation. Some of our editors are Telly Award winners.
Yeah.
One of our editors, Jude, he's been with Bill now over 20 years editing. Wow. And it's just fantastic. We have a great crew.
I was gonna say that, yeah, because in the beginning when he first started, I was researching a little bit, and I noticed that this one he got like a pretty decent budget, but like before this, he literally started from just like a short film on YouTube, which is amazing.
Yeah, Damien had an idea, and he never gave up on it, and he just he persevered and pushed through it, and he turned it into what it is now, a big empire.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I feel like it's the newest thing because, we got Freddy Krueger, we got Jason, we have It. This is like the new thing now.
Oh, Artisan with the big boys. He's up there with them.
Yeah,
he's definitely playing in that big league now.
What is it that, like, when you first walked on, to this project, so like, what is it that you expected, or like, was it what you expected, or was it a lot more challenging, do you think?
I approach it as I approach every other project that we do. It gets 115% of our attention when we do it. The task at hand is the task at hand.
Right.
What made the Terrifier 3 group so great, it was a lot of the people who worked on 1 and 2 came to do 3. Oh. So they had that real Terrifier vibe with them all along. To sort of be around those folks was great, and to catch their vibes and translate that and build our sets, and we did our thing with them, and it was a seamless transition and molding of people. It was really wonderful.
So it kind of made it like a little bit more smoother because obviously you're not starting from the first part. You're already at 3, so they already had like a vision and everything was.
Yeah, there was a clearer character at that point. The character was defined at that point. A lot of times when somebody develops a character, the first movie, they don't really know, but by the second movie, they kind of have a little bit more what the character's about. But,
right.
By the time you get to a third movie, the character is well defined. People know what to expect of the character, and they hope to expect more. And I hope that that's exactly what everybody's hard work did, was deliver that wonderful experience to the audience, because the audience is really what matters.
Absolutely. And I must say, like, it did really well. They say it's one of the best, in the box office, did like the best sales.
It was the highest grossing unrated movie of all time.
That's
it was not
amazing.
rated, so it was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was the second time Damien managed to do that in a theater. The first one, Terrifier 2, was unrated and theatrically released, and so was 3.
Yeah.
3 was just a huge hit. Came out the same weekend another movie did, The Joker.
It did.
It came out the same weekend.
Oh, that movie sucked. I'm sorry.
I haven't watched it yet. It didn't get the reviews that they were hoping for.
It didn't.
But we were watching how well the movies did, like the first weekend. That was the big franchise that we came out against. And they did about 7.3 or 7.4 million. The Joker did, and we did about 18.4.
Sheesh.
So we kind of blew them out of the water. I guess the horror fans were a little bit more interested than the Joker fans were that weekend, so which was great. And it really went on to be a really big hit and a success. And we just couldn't be any happier to be a part of it.
Yeah. How long does it take, more or less, like, to go from the idea to actually putting these sets together, like on average, like to build them?
Well, usually how it goes is a director will meet with a set builder or a set designer or a producer or something and get an idea and get a vision, then go back and do some rendering, some drawings, and get the approvals. And then from there, it just becomes simply building them. Right. So once the approval process happened, we built the set in, a week's worth of time.
1 week?
Yeah, we went to it's what we did, 8 hours a day, went to the fab shop and just, and built the panels, decorated the sets and, ordered the things that we needed, the supplies that we needed to do it, and just got it done. That's just all there is to it.
They do it really fast. I thought it was going to take a little bit more, because some of these sets are big sets,
Yep, some of them were huge sets, but we had time for some of them. While they were filming on location, we had time in the studio to reconstruct some of the sets.
Yeah.
Some of the more destructive scenes and stuff like that. A lot of them were filmed on location. Like the shower scene, the infamous shower scene.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes.
that was filmed on location in Staten Island at the school, and we built another shower that was a little wider to do the scene. So we actually set that shower up right in front of the school showers behind it.
Wow!
It had to be a little wider for the 2 actors, Art to be in there, the cinematographer, get the clown in there. Yeah. So it had to be a little wider to get the angles to make the shot to look a little bit more convincing.
Yeah.
Trying to do it in the traditional shower was just too narrow. So we made it, about 2 feet wider, which gave all the clearance for they needed to make the shot work.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking, I have like all these questions because like obviously people that watch the movie, right, they just watch it. But like there's so much work that goes on behind, to get it done, So it's very interesting how all this works.
Oh, well, we put Bill and I and the rest of our team, we put in a couple of 24-hour around-the-clock days getting ready for some of the scenes and stuff that were filmed in the studio. And the day of filming, we were 8 a.m. one day, a film day, to about 12 o'clock in the afternoon the next day.
Jeez.
Wrapping everything up and cleaning up the studio and putting everything away. And, the fake blood was just, by the gallons. And, and it was...
There was blood everywhere in this one.
It was like 75 gallons up and on the floor. And it's, it took like 30 gallons of Dawn soap to clean it up. And,
wow.
So we were at it for quite a
lot
while.
Of work, man.
There was a ton of work. Yeah, there was a ton of work.
Yeah. And then the scenes, they're probably shooting it not even like a whole day, right? They'll probably do these scenes quick, maybe like 6 hours, 5 hours, right?
The cast is extreme professionals. David Howard Thornton and the rest of them, really professionals. Do a safety take, maybe do one more, and move on to the next one. They really are pros. They don't waste a lot of time. They're professionals at what they do. Yep, they do.
Yeah, I like that. Now, I gotta ask. I got so many things to ask you because we're here, right? So we gotta make it worth it. Is Damien and Bill, are they like? Would you say they're fairly easy to work with, or are they like very particular on how everything is done?
Well, everybody is particular in their own way. So Damien has a clear vision, and he puts people around him that hopefully will understand his vision.
Right.
And he puts producers and set builders around him and then relies on those folks to interpret that vision.
Yeah, because I'm asking this because I know people like they say like Quentin Tarantino and like there's certain directors is what I'm getting at. Is like they notice everything, like from the way the way your shirt is or the how many. I think I read this in one thing that I was reading, but they said like one of the directors had flipped out because they had a watermelon. I think it was in Reservoir Dogs, and the watermelon didn't have enough seeds in it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
all right, that's a little picky.
Yeah, like that's extreme, but they say there's stories that they say like, some directors.
Well, both Bill and, Damien, they have their own directing styles and they both see everything in the shot. They know what the camera sees, they've been at it for a long time. And that's a big part of it. You got to know what the camera sees in order to be able to see the shot.
Absolutely.
You have to know the lens you're using. You have to know your equipment. You have to know its performances. And not just... It's like anything else. A carpenter has to know his tools, a photographer has to know his camera.
Was there a scene in the Terrifier 3 where the level of blood, like it forced you to like rethink the set? Like, was there any scene in particular?
Those things are all from Damien, and he is the more bloody, the better.
Yeah. I can't believe it takes that much soap to clean it up.
Well, that was just that one. That was just that one set. That was done in multiple sets. A lot of blood. When the snow angel the blood angel was made on the floor. Yeah. That was a significant cleanup that took the better part of a full day of a crew of people spending most of the night trying to clean that up because that was on the college floor in the locker room. Oh my God. What were some of your favorite scenes? Like, do you have a favorite maybe set that you did that you was like, I like this one a lot? Well, I'm a big Christmas fanatic personally. It's one of the holidays that I really get into a lot. And the Christmas sets were great working on those. The finale of the movie was decorated as the house was set for Christmas. So I got a big kick out of all of those sets that were decorated for Christmas. And, we tour some of these pieces when we do Comic-Cons and stuff to give the fans the experience to see some of these great sets and these pieces. And we just have a lot of fun doing it. What about did you have any wild, problem solving moments where something went wrong and then but it was kind of in a funny way, but you figured it out how to fix it quick? Well, when we were doing the Christmas set, the kids, every time they ran up to Santa art on the podium, we had all of the icicle props along the bottom of the set, and the kids kept kicking them and knocking them off. So in between takes, we needed 90 seconds between each take to run back up there and and hot glue them back on. So we had continuity for each shot so that everything looked the same. Yeah, it's not easy working with kids, right? You try to direct them, but the kids were great. David met with the kids for a little while before we shot, got to know them, passed the mask around, and was like, it's all rubber, it's all make believe. Oh. And by the time it was all said and done, when we got out on the set, all the kids were like, "Oh, that's just David." Yeah, he wasn't Art the Clown. He wasn't the hideous killing monster, because he took the time to get to know the kids on a personal basis, and then it just worked out great. There was no screamers. We didn't have any kids crying. We thought it was going to take hours and hours, and we got it all done in 3 or 4, and we were expecting 12. Yeah. So it was really a pleasant experience, and he took the time to just say, "Hey kids, my name's David. We're making a movie, and this is what we're going to see." And he did that with the kids. Just to get them comfortable, right? That's smart. Yeah, he took his time to do that, and it was really good. It was really nice of him to do that. That's so wild. Now, what's the set more or less? You said that you like the Christmas ones, but which one looks simple on camera that you would say, but it was a nightmare to build it or very difficult? I think the difficult one that we did was the set where the demon was, where the Virgin Mary was in the hell set. We saw the demon at the forge. Yeah. There was quite a bit of pieces to that set that we constructed there, and then trying to figure out a way to make that spark effect look great on camera. Different techniques, different effects, different applications. How are we going to do it? And in the end, we settled on one way to do it, and we made it work, and it was great. But that set was pretty elaborate. We carved all the stalactites, all the rock walls, the forge we made in house. Everything we constructed, all the pieces, everything there. Yeah. Even the sparks during the effects, we had a guy up on a grinder, just shooting metal grindings across the set just to give it looked. We even shot through a wall of fire to give that brimstone kind of effect. We put a firewall up and put the camera behind it, and then shot through the fire in one scene. Wow, it's amazing how the process to get these shots, right? And then sometimes, what's funny, they'll film all of these things, and a lot of things don't make it to the final cut, in certain movies. It's true. We shot quite a bit of stuff, and just about everything that we shot, we made into the movie that we did. Which take it was, couldn't tell you, but there wasn't too many takes for each one, so it was we were there.
Worked out, right?
It was there. It was great. You saw it.
Yeah.
And, I hadn't been a part of the franchise in the past.
Right.
And didn't really know how truly dedicated the fan base was until we started touring the stuff and started, once the fans realized that Bill Diamond Productions and stuff, we were a part of the Terrifier, the enthusiasm of the fans, and really started coming out. And that's, how we found you.
Yeah, man. I'm a huge fan. I'm gonna be honest, like, especially horror, one of my favorite, like, I love horror. And then my daughter is so ironic. She loves horror films too. Like, she's watched Halloween with me very young. Like, it just started from early on. And everyone's like, you took your daughter to see the Terrifier 3? Like, what the hell?
It's amazing how many like 5 and 6 and 10-year-olds that come to the booth at the show and they tell me all about their favorite scene in Terrifier 2 or Terrifier 3. And I go, you're 5.
Yeah. But you know what it is? Like, I don't know. I mean, to each his own, but I feel like when it comes to parenting, I rather let my daughter know, listen, this is all, just a movie. Obviously, certain scenes, cover your eyes, right? Because there's a few scenes in there that's not for children.
That's not yep.
But at the end of the day, me as a father, I like to build that trust and relationship with my kid, right? Because then, they grow up and they...
Well, my dad was like, we always watch horror movies too. We watched a lot of science fiction. We watched horror movies, and it was always like, okay, this is make believe. It's pretend. That blood is ketchup. Right. Blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, and I never believed it was real anyway. So,
exactly.
And it was entertainment. So.
Exactly. It's all entertainment. It's a beautiful thing. So like the beginning of the movie, it was definitely a way to start the movie. Like literally didn't leave nobody in there, everybody went.
The day of the premiere of 3, I rewatched 2.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours before we jumped on the train and got down there because I wanted it fresh to roll right out of 2 right into 3. So that was how I did it. I watched, stood in my bedroom. I stood there. I watched it. I had my coffee and I literally stood and watched it. And I was like, oh, this is great. I stood there and I watched the movie and then we went down to the premiere. So I was like fresh in my mind too.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to catch all those little things that tied the 2 together. So I wanted it fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
Because I didn't work on 2. I only watched 2. So I wanted to catch all those little nuances between the stories. So I thought that was really cool to do.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like when it started, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a good one. Like automatically, some movies, they have like that rough start and you're like, I don't know where this is going here. But when that movie started, I said, sheesh, this is how they start in the movie.
Just a little gore from the get-go.
Yeah, it was a fucking horror scene for real.
You want a horror movie?
Yeah,
this is a horror movie.
You got it. Yeah.
You got a horror movie.
Now, what about like, mostly like how closely did you work more or less like in the special effects? Like, did you work with the special effects team as well? Like to make everything, basically match or not really?
Well, Bill did a lot of coordinating with the other effects people and then came back and said, okay, this is the envision. This is what we got to do. So there was a lot of collaboration between Bill, one of the producers of the movie, and then coming back to our team with us. Each team has their own tech terms and things that they do. So Bill came to us and guided us and did some of this. And I think I sent you some behind the scenes photos that I'm trying to use.
I'm going to definitely put them up as we speak about it.
Even the meticulous is when we were decorating the set, Jude, one of our set designers, set builders, and he's one of our editors and cinematographers. Jude is one of those all around guys in the studio. And he was using fake snow when we were decorating the set. And Bill was right, no, I want more on this branch, faded, feather it in, this, so he was right on everything like that. So the detail was there.
Yeah.
The detail was there. I actually have a picture of Bill pointing at Jude, no, put more fake snow here, a little less here, this is what we want, And,
that's how you bring it to life, more or less, right?
I think there was a fair amount of trust between Damien and Bill. Bill built the set, Damien loved it, and then I think he gave him a lot of freedom to decorate it, do it however you want. Yeah. This is what we're going to do in the scene. We got to work around that. And that's exactly what he did.
That's how you get such a masterpiece, right? At the end of the day.
Yep.
This is amazing. Now, any props from speaking of that, any props from the Terrifier 3 that like you truly wanted to take home or wish you could have?
Well, I have the backdrop that was used in the Christmas scene where, Santa Art comes around the corner and you see him wearing the face.
Yeah.
The backdrop behind there is actually my personal backdrop. I'm a professional Santa, which is why I have this great attachment.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that too.
Great attachment to Christmas. So when we were building the set, I said I have this perfect backdrop that matches the size of the arch and everything, and I think it would look great. So when we were building the set in the studio, we threw it up behind it, and we were like, yeah, that's the one. So that's the one that wound up being used on set.
Oh, that's amazing.
That particular backdrop is actually my personal backdrop. It's signed by David Howard Thornton, Phil Falcone, Bill, and Damien himself. on that one, and I have that piece in my personal collection. It's a little worse for the wear after the explosion. It's got a lot of holes in it. It's got a lot of blood splatters all over it, but it's a survivor, and it's a really cool piece of memorabilia. I can confirm exactly where that was on set, and I don't know if your camera's picking them up or not, but we do have a pair of glasses up.
Oh yeah, those glasses are iconic. By the way,
so those were used in the movie. I couldn't tell you what scene they were on, but they were on set. They were used. David did put them on for there, and they were used. I just don't remember where.
I think it was the beginning, if I'm mistaken.
He had them on there somewhere. And there was a bunch of them. There were boxes of them and everything because they kept getting dropped and breaking and everything. So, but that one was one of the ones that was used. Where
that's
it was,
amazing.
I couldn't tell you exactly where, but that was one of the ones that was
used. No, I'll find it. We'll put it on the screen. That's so fun. Now, speaking of that, I'm assuming you're into horror yourself, correct?
I like some horror movies. Yeah, I'm more of a sci-fi guy, but I do like horror.
Oh, sci-fi. Yeah. What were some of your favorite horror films growing up?
Oh, well, the classics. My father took me to the first horror movie I went to go see in the theater was Friday the 13th in 3D.
Oh, of course.
And that's kind of like when I fell in love with 3D as well, right then and there, when the harpoon kind of shot right out at the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
You actually, and you had
you're bringing us back. Yeah. That's amazing.
So that was like the first one I saw in the theater. And then I kind of went back and saw 1 and 2 and then followed that one there. And then, of course, growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was Freddy and Jason and Michael, along with Star Wars and Star Trek and, Flash Gordon and everything else. Absolutely.
The reason why, because I mentioned it a few times, the reason why I'm such a fan now of the Terrifier is because for years, like I still am a big It fan. So, Pennywise, one of my favorite of all time, because I love clowns overall, even as a kid. And I'm like, this is Pennywise on steroids, more or less. You know what I mean? Like,
there's been a few movies that had some crazy clowns in them, but Art the Clown is he's a mixture. He's charming.
Yeah.
The other ones were just gruesome, but he's charming.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to him. He doesn't talk at all.
So
his body language is his language.
Right.
His facial expressions, his body movements. That's how he tells his story.
Yeah.
And David is just great at conveying that with his facial expressions, his eye movements, the way he can, smile and can turn that frown upside down kind of thing. And
in a split second.
He's really good at it. And it's great to sit back and watch him do his thing like that. Like even when he sat down in the Christmas chair on the set and he did that little wiggle and I don't know if that was an improv or not, but it was great. And that was kind of his little nuances to the character, he's really fun to watch.
It's funny because I was even researching like from the very beginning, like how it all came about, and the makeup wasn't like that obviously in the beginning, right? Like the way they're doing it now.
They did. The makeup has changed, the effects, the mask has changed a little bit along the way. Damien's refined it. It's still the overall same look. I just think the prosthetics have changed. The tech has gotten a little better. The molds, the silicons have changed, and even in the last couple of years. So it's much more form fitting to David's face, which gives it that greater range of expression.
Absolutely. Because speaking of that, it's funny, I'm getting to this next thing. And, starting for such a small budget, right? Now the Terrifier 3, like it was definitely a massive hit, like you had said, earlier. They grossed, going from a budget of $2 million and then grossing over tens of millions of dollars is actually one of the most profitable films of 2024, which is amazing. So like, I just can't believe because I know that it started before they got to 1. It was just like a short film on YouTube, which again,
he did some, wound up in Old Hallows Eve. He made some short films and it was picked up and put in Old Hallows Eve. And from there, it just took off, and then they did 1 and then 1 led to 2. And,
it's crazy. Now, so here we are. We're getting to the big question. Terrifier 4. Can we expect it? I'm hoping maybe 2026, or you truly don't know?
Truly have no idea. That's 100% Damien. I mean, he would have liked to have turned one out every 2 years, but when the world went crazy there during COVID, it kind of derailed, I think, a little bit of his plans for making the movie in sequence. But he's gonna soon enough. It'll be here soon enough. I know he's working on it. He finished up some other projects, and now he's finishing up the script and everything. I know, and, we'll get the call soon enough, and the renderings will come back to the shop. We'll start doing things, and we'll before you know it, we'll be doing it.
Yeah, because from 4, I'm hoping. You know how we like even Freddy Krueger and Jason, they had like over 10 films. Which is crazy. You think that this could be the same thing, maybe for the Terrifier, the way it's going?
Only Damien knows the answer to that.
Yeah.
Only Damien knows.
I gotta try to get these exclusives out of you. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get the generic answer. Only Damien knows that.
I don't know.
Well, then that's what makes it great. He doesn't tell anybody anything. This way, it really keeps a great air of mystery. He doesn't tell anything. I don't even think David himself knows what he's going to get into in 4.
Yeah.
I think he knows he's doing 4. He just has no clue what he's getting himself into yet.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going. I wonder because we went from Christmas, maybe we'll go into Thanksgiving.
The internet had all kinds of great rumors.
Yeah,
Easter Bunny, leprechauns.
Yeah.
Art the Clown in space. Who knows?
Yeah, remember they had Leprechaun in space.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah, Leprechaun. That was a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a good one. Ice-T was in that one.
Funny
That was a good one. Ice-T.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Now, Comic Cons, as I said, it was epic. Every time I see you guys there, it's a great time. What are some of because I know you do a lot of them. What are some of your favorite cities to go to when it comes to Comic Con?
Some of the great cities to come to, obviously here in Rhode Island, Providence is a great one here. The Providence Convention Center is really a nice place to do a Comic-Con at. It's a big facility. The staff is very accommodating. And the town is very receptive for all of it, which is a big part of it. Buffalo is another great town.
Really?
Buffalo is another great place to do a show up there. The staff up there at the Buffalo Convention Center is wonderful. We have an intern up there in Buffalo who comes and helps us out only up in Buffalo. He's not old enough to tour with us yet. I on him all the time, graduate high school.
Yeah.
Go to college before you come out and do this. This will always be here.
Yeah. He's like, I'm with the big leagues now. I don't need to go to high school.
I got to keep him grounded. He's a good kid, but he got to keep his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's amazing.
So his name is Donnie. We keep him up there, and he lives up in Buffalo, so he's a good kid.
Shout outs to Donnie. I like that.
Yeah, Donnie's a great kid. Yeah, he really is. He actually made the trip down to do the Rhode Island show this year. I think you met him at the booth.
That's right. Yeah.
You met Donnie. He came in, his mom, they had the weekend off from school, and they came down and he helped us out with the show and everything, and it was great.
It was funny because is he the one that I think he was changing when I had seen him. He was actually dressed as Art the Clown, or
No. We have that's one of our cosplayers. We bring in our cosplayer as dressed as Art the Clown. All of our set pieces that we bring to the shows are actually real set pieces.
Gotcha.
So our only imitation thing is our cosplayer, and we always let the fans know, these are the real set pieces. And we have Jeremy, who's our great cosplayer that we use here, and we have another wonderful gentleman. His name is Coop.
Yeah.
Up in Canada, who we use, is wonderful too. Him and his wife Julie are expecting their first baby just in February.
Oh, congratulations to them.
So Coop and Julie, shout out to them.
Yeah. What about do anybody ever get really crazy? Because when they see Bill and stuff like that, when people see celebrities sometimes they get kind of weird. Not everyone, but
Bill is such a humble guy that after Bill just says hello to people, I think he takes a lot of that. Oh my God, it's a celebrity, out of the way.
Okay.
Bill is, Bill's a blue jeans and t-shirt kind of guy, so he's very approachable.
Very humble.
Very humble man, very, very approachable, loves to talk to his fans, and once people get over the shock, oh, it's Bill. He's like, go calm down.
Yeah.
And
breathe.
Take a deep breath. And they go, okay, he really is a nice guy. It's not just a rumor,
That's true. Yeah, no, that I respect that because, this sometimes you'll meet certain celebrities and stuff like that. And it's like a little, you just feel like, I don't know if.
Some can, be a little, I'm drinking my tea.
Yeah.
My pinky out.
Don't bother me.
I've seen some celebrities literally sit at their table, make their fans wait while they sat there and ate cake.
Wow.
We're not going to say which one it is,
absolutely.
but it was like, how do you sit there and make your fans wait?
Right.
And just sit there and just eat cake in front of them. It's like, all right, really?
Yeah.
There's a green room. Go eat the cake in the green room. Don't make these poor people wait.
Don't be that guy, right?
And he was that guy. And you'd be surprised. There's quite a bit of that guy.
Now, you also, we got to highlight everything, right? Because we got to speak about it. We're here now. You play a great Santa Claus. I was looking at some of your stuff. You gave me a flyer, actually, last year. I think it was a picture and you signed it.
Yeah, I signed it for you, yeah.
How long you been doing that?
I've been doing that now professionally about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, and are you gonna do it this year?
Of course. Of course.
Where do you go? Do you go to the mall and stuff like that to take pictures of people?
No. I'm a Santa for hire.
Okay.
I do a lot of stuff for charity. I do a lot of stuff with the Brielle Grace Breast Cancer Foundation. They're located out of Fishkill, New York.
Yeah.
They do a big Christmas event. I've done several of them, and I participated in that. It's a wonderful organization. I do some tree lightings and things every year in New Haven, the town where I live. I do a lot of stuff with the local town. I reach out, and if there's needy families and stuff like that, I'll go out and buy presents on my own. I have
that's nice.
Quite a few friends that are local business owners, and I go hit them up all the time. Hey, give me $100. I'm going to see this person. They live in this neighborhood here where your business is.
Yeah.
So let's go get them some stuff. And
that's amazing.
My friend Barry, who owns Safer Vapors in Connecticut, he's done that quite a few times. He's come to me and said, "Hey, I've got some friends who got a sick child. Would you mind coming?" Yeah. I went and bought some presents, and I said, "Okay, well, how old are the kids?" And I went and bought some more, and we went over and made a big deal. So, he's a great friend, and he does that. We've done that quite a few times with him. So big shout out to Safer Vapors.
Shout outs to them. That must bring some light to your life, right? Like,
I do. I really enjoy it. I do.
And being that Christmas is coming up, what's your favorite part overall, like, of Christmas? Is it like maybe the holiday music, or like, just the decor that people put on their homes, or just the overall love that you get from Christmas?
It brings any type of holiday that brings people together unilaterally, I think, is great. Halloween is another big one that brings people together.
Absolutely, it's my favorite.
It brings them together in the same way, but in a different way.
Yeah.
But people decorate their houses for Halloween, just that you decorate your homes for Christmas. It's just different types of decoration. So, and the people who do Halloween always do Christmas. They love them both. Now they even incorporate Jack Skellington the night before Christmas. They can do both. They can put it up at Halloween and leave it up until New Year, and they can really live the good life. So,
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I'm all for it.
So, what's funny, for years, because even to this day, every year I take my daughter to take pictures with Santa at the mall and stuff like that. I've been doing, it's like a tradition. I've been doing it forever. But I always wondered, I'm like, do they like stay like that all year round? Obviously you can't cut your beard, right?
There are some Santas that do the fake beards and the wigs and stuff like that. I do stuff all year round.
Yeah.
Commercials are made all year round. So I like to be ready to go at a moment's notice. I don't stay my beard dyed and ready, but I have Kerry, who is my stylist, on a moment's notice. If I called her right now and said, I'm doing a thing tomorrow, she would be at my house tonight with everything to make me look Christmassy, to be ready for the next day. So I have a wonderful team myself for Santa New England, which is my thing, santanewengland.com.
Yes.
So, and I have a wonderful core group of folks that I work with, as well as with Bill. I have a lot of kids' videos and things on my website, and Bill produces all of them for me. We shoot them in the studio too.
Can we get a Santa impression?
I'm always watching.
This is so fire. Yeah, man. It's funny. I got a photo shoot tomorrow. That's why I'm like speaking on this as well. And I'm actually going to dress up as Santa. I got the fake beard and everything.
Funny. We were working on another movie with, it's called Saint Nick of Bethlehem. It was a Dan Roebuck movie. And it's a very great story of how Dan, the character he plays, kind of becomes a Santa in the movie. You got to watch it. I don't want to give too much of it away. Yeah. But we're on set. He's got his full Santa Claus outfit on and everything. And he looks great. He was a jolly old Saint Nick. So I signed a picture out of the truck, to Dan. You make a jolly old Saint Nick. Love Santa. And I walked up and I gave it to him right on set, and and I handed him the Santa picture of me, and he didn't really know that I did that. Yeah. And we kind of like melted and hugged and kissed and everything.
Yeah.
And we just had a great moment after that. And it's funny. And whenever I meet somebody who's a professional Santa, they always walk by and they'll kind of give you like an eyebrow, and they'll always go, Nick, and I'll go, Claus.
Oh, so you guys already know more or less, right?
You see there's only so much of us handsome bearded guys that are walking around.
That's amazing. So you said all year round. You've ever done anything for like Coca-Cola's, like commercials like that?
No. The most corporate thing I've ever done was a woman who was a franchise owner of a McDonald's. She hired me to come do an appearance at one of her restaurants, and every year I go and see her and her family. I've been doing that now. This will be the 7th year. Kids were like just going to high school. Now they're graduating college. Some of them are now. Yeah. I've been watching them grow, so I look forward to it every year. So they're really a great family. And then I have a couple of Connecticut state representatives that I go to their homes to, and I do their stuff there. And visit with their families and stuff like that. We leave the politics at the door. Because it's about the holiday. It's not about your point of view. Like, I don't care what it is.
Right. What's the most outlandish thing a kid has ever asked you? Because they ask for some crazy things sometimes.
They do. I love it when they ask me. I love it when they say, "Can I get a PlayStation? Or can I get an Xbox?" And I look right at them and I go, "No."
Oh my God.
I make
bad Santa.
I go, no. I go, I make toys.
Yeah. Oh, that's smart.
I make toys. Write a letter to Sony. See if they answer.
Yeah.
See if they send you a PlayStation. And then I'll do the old classic. And I do this for the parents because 10% of it is for the kids.
Yeah.
And 90% of it is for the
Oh,
parents.
yeah. We get
always
a kick
for
out
the
of
parents.
It. Yeah.
So when I do a thing like that, I actually play more to the adults than the kids because the kids are going to love it no matter what.
Yeah.
Once they get over the shock or the crying or whatever and they calm down. The performance is really for mom and dad. That's where the memory comes from, you know, because once you hand the child the present, it's all about the toy and they're gone. They don't want to know you anymore.
They don't even care.
So you're still there 5 minutes with the kid. He unwraps the presents and they're out of the way. And then, you know, you have to entertain the room and it usually winds up, you go there for the kids and you wind up spending half the time with the adults.
Yeah. Sometimes people get really aggressive too. Like,
so they do. So you have to be prepared to make an adjustment. And I do. So, you know, I have these things that I like to say, especially if grandma's there and I'll go, Grandma, do you still have the porcelain doll I gave you? You know, when you were 12 years old and they remember the porcelain faced little dolly that they had and they go, I still have it. It's on my bed. Yeah. You know, and I go, where's Grandpa? What about the dump truck, the metal one with the crank on the side? And they go, oh, you know, I don't have it, but I remember it, you know. Yeah. And so I do a lot of that and I play, you know, you have to play on the room. You know, it's like any entertainer would, you got to play the room. So
how can people contact you once again if they want you to appear as Santa?
Well, we got our website is Santa New England, santanewengland.com. You can find us on the web and the number is up there. It's underneath Santa's sleigh. I'm terrible with phone numbers.
No, it's all good. I'll put the information up. Yeah,
but santanewengland.com is a picture of me up there on. You can find us on a quick Google search or just go to the website directly.
Absolutely. Now, we spoke about many things today. You know, I'm going to be wrapping it up shortly, but looking back years from now, what's the legacy from your work that you would hope to leave behind when it's all said and done?
If I could make somebody smile, and that's the legacy of any entertainer, is to entertain you in the moment.
Yeah.
And if I do something or if I work on a project that you keep going back to and watching over and over again, like Terrifier 3, if you really love the movie and you keep putting it on, then I'm proud to have been a part of that, and that joy that you get from watching that. I take some personal satisfaction of that. Yeah. You know, or when, you know, I see some of the kids year after year, you know, I go back to the same places year after year and I see the kids and they come run back up to me. A lot of the kids at the shows don't call me Mike. They say, it's Santa. Yeah. They run back up. You know, last year they were 3 feet tall. Now they're 4 feet tall. Yeah. You know, Donnie, the first year we met Donnie up in Buffalo, he was in a car. He was hit by a car. Wow. And he was in a wheelchair. He had 2 broken legs and he had a neck brace on and he was going to be okay. He was just in bad shape at the moment, but he didn't want to not come to the show and see the Bill Diamond exhibit. So the next year he came back and we kind of made him an impromptu intern and he started working the booth, and he actually has a great adaptation for character building and art. And he's a fantastic artist. At 14 years old, he can draw better than me. I can draw stick people. He can draw full. Amazing. And now finally year we gave him a hat. Then we gave him a shirt. Now he's a member of the crew. You know, I brought him into it. I didn't give him the hat until the end of the first weekend. Right. I didn't give him the T-shirt to the end of the weekend. Yeah. Then I said, all right, you can keep it, you know.
Things like that are more rewarding sometimes than like any amount of money that you could receive, right?
Well, you know, my grandpa kind of did that with me when I would go to work with him, or my dad, you know, I would go to work with them on the weekends and stuff like that. And they would always build you up and you got the reward at the end of the weekend, you know, and that's kind of what I did with him. Because that's how that was done with me. Yeah. So that's how I did it with him, because that's the way I knew how to do it.
You're keeping the tradition alive, right?
That was how I did it with my son. My son even worked on Terrifier 3 a few days in the studio.
He did?
Yeah, when his schedule allowed it, he came down when we were doing some early set construction. He was there helping us carry some lumber around and helped us build a few sets. So Cameron gave us a hand on that project. He had an uncredited role at the end because he was only there for a day or two, but he did help out on it.
He was there.
He was there. I got a picture of him on set walking around, broom in hand, but he was there.
That's so cool, man. What advice would you give to someone who wants to get into, you know, set designing and maybe movies overall? What would you tell them?
Just follow your dream. Just practice. Just, you know, there's some great schools out there to go to school. The Stan Winston School is great. The Stan Winston School of Character Arts is wonderful. They cover just about every aspect of everything you can imagine, from animatronics to makeup and all points in between. Bill even handles one of the instructional DVDs as a proctor on puppeteering. So there's anything you can imagine. I would highly recommend the Stan Winston School of Character Arts too, if you wanted to get an idea of what it's like. But there's nothing that ever beats practical experience.
And I'm assuming that you're a firm believer of being at the right place at the right time, right? Like
that helps a lot.
That's crazy how this whole thing took off for you, not for nothing. Because imagine you would have just been home with all your talents, right? You got to get out there.
Yeah, well, you know, it was Bill who, when I retired, he said, "No, now that you're retired, you're going to come with me." So,
Yeah.
and I've kind of been sticking with Bill and, you know, and doing all that. And then the last 5 years I've been with Bill, you know, almost full time. And I've learned 1,000,000% more than what I've learned. And even some set building things, you know, that I didn't know as a carpenter, I'm applying it to building a full size structure, not a set panel. So I actually had to relearn how to build the panels to movie standards, you know, in different ways and different things. So there was a learning curve there. It wasn't a big one, but there was still a learning curve.
Yeah.
And still to this day, Bill will be like, "Oh, we're going to do this way. I did this on a set in 1986, and I think we're going to do it this way on here." Yeah. Okay, let's try that. And it's, you know, he's never wrong. You know?
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing. That's why they're who they are, right? Like,
yeah. I gave you a compliment, Bill.
I still can't believe
love you, buddy.
I can't. Yeah, we I can't believe he did the Little Shop of Horrors. Like, I really can't believe it.
He's been puppeteering Audrey now for a number of decades as Audrey too. He's had quite a bit of fun doing that over the years. He really has.
Yeah,
it's quite an enjoyable experience for him.
Now, are you guys going? Where are you guys going next? Because you got another Comic-Con, I'm assuming, coming up,
we
right?
got another Comic-Con we're doing. We're doing the Northeast Comic-Con coming up Thanksgiving weekend in Boxborough, Massachusetts. And then our final Comic-Con of the year is in Canada, in Niagara Falls, Canada. We're doing a one-day Christmas show. We're doing a one-day Christmas show up there in Canada with Chris and James. They're the promoters of that show, and it's the Niagara Christmas Con. And that's a really good one, too. The one in Boxborough is great, too. Up there, the Northeast Comic-Con. Dan Roebuck's going to be there from Terrifier 3 in St. Nick of Bethlehem. And we're going to have the chair there and some set pieces again. And there's going to be some great photo ops with Dan in the set. We have our cosplayer, Jeremy, coming up, going to be dressed as Art the Clown.
Jeremy's cool.
Jeremy's a cool guy. His wife's going to be there. She always comes along and helps out. And they have a wonderful child, too, his little boys.
Yeah, shout outs to them. They always show us love.
Great people. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We got our picture. When you opened up the curtain, I was like, "Oh snap! That's what's behind here." I'm like, "This is like VIP shit." Like, that was so cool.
You know, at the Rhode Island, what you just saw just a couple of weeks ago, we built that exhibit to give you a Hollywood set experience. So if you ever went to like a Universal or a Paramount or whatever, and you took a set tour, you would see behind it. It would look like a pile of sticks, wooden lumber. Then when you turn the corner, it's a set. It's a living room. It's, in that case, it was the Terrifier living room.
Oh yeah, it looks so cool.
Where we had the Christmas tree and then the chair and you know, and on some of the pieces from the set there. And when you come out the other side of it, you're back on behind the set. And we wanted to create that Hollywood experience for you to give you if you were taking a true tour, like in one of those big studios. Gotcha. Well, we're just as big of a studio as them.
Right. And then the one upstairs was amazing too. The one that they had upstairs.
We brought them up at theater this time. Bill, you know, brought the tribute to Jim Henson this time, and it was 70 years of Jim, and that was a wonderful experience. We had the Mayhem Theater with all the boys in the band, Janice and Dr. Teeth and all the rest of them, and Animal. Yeah. Then we had Statler and Waldorf up in the box, up in the corner. People were able to go up and take a picture up there with them.
That was cool.
And then we had the Arches from the beginning of the Muppet Show with the characters in. And then we had a Sesame Street exhibit. Yeah. And then we had a Christmas Carol exhibit over there where we had Gonzo and the lamppost and everything from the set. And all those pieces were either reconstructed, and a lot of them were actually original set pieces too that Bill had from many years of just keeping them. He's had these original pieces.
That's amazing.
And my personal favorite out of all the pieces that were there at that exhibit were Business. The original 4 characters that premiered on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1968.
Which ones were those?
When you walked into the exhibit, they were the 4 in the glass case. There were the 4 hand characters about Yo Tall, Orange, Red.
I didn't see those.
Well, those are the original characters. The skit is on YouTube. It's what's called Business. You should watch it. That was the original one. That was the precursor to Sesame Street. Sesame Street premiered in 1969, but Ed Sullivan Show had Jim Henson on in 1968, and that skit was the original skit. And those 4 puppets are my personal favorites out of all the collection that Bill has. I look at those and I go, that spawned so many things came from those 4 little guys. Those 4 little guys started so much stuff. And I love looking at those guys. And when we do the tour, I love bringing people by those, and I love starting the tour at that point and then taking it off when we do a tour and giving people our tour when we do our show. Yeah,
that's amazing. See, we need more people like you at Comic-Con because you actually explain everything, right? Because someone like me, I'll probably just walk right by it and I don't even know what that is.
Fans deserve the history. Fans deserve the history, and that's, each project is different, Yeah. So each project that Bill's worked on, and there's a tie-in to each project between Bill and each of the projects that we do, the characters, the pieces that we bring, are the ones that he's worked on directly or worked on that scene or whatever it is. Yeah. So we have that ability to tie the Bill Diamond experience in with whatever the pieces that you're looking at and make it a seamless show. And that's what we try to do. And we really do care about the fans. we love the fans that come in. Everyone gets the same experience. We give everybody the same tour.
Yeah.
You get the same treatment. Everybody gets the VIP tour.
That's right.
The free VIP
you
tour.
Definitely make it VIP. Speaking of that, we're going to get into Album of the Week real quick. Album of the Week on the Jmack Experience Podcast. Album of the Week this week is Cabin in the Sky by De La Soul. Have you heard it yet?
Not yet, but I do know De La Soul.
You know De La Soul, right? All right, cool. I was hoping. I'm like, fingers crossed. Hopefully he likes a little bit of hip hop.
I know who De La Soul is.
All right, cool. We're going to get into Movie of the Week. Movie of the Week on the Jmack Experience Podcast. Movie of the Week this week is Five Nights at Freddy 2. It comes out December 5th on Friday. Will you be watching it?
I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah? You're a fan of Five Nights at Freddy?
I've definitely dug it up in the past, yep.
My daughter loves that movie, so I definitely got to take her to go see it. I got to put these glasses on, though. Hold on. We got to do a little intermission.
Oh, well, here you go.
I can't end this episode without throwing these. I was trying to do it quickly, but I don't care. We'll leave this as a blooper, but... How do I look? You think I can play an Art the Clown, you think?
Sexy.
I'm sexy and I know it.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Come on, whip it off. Let's go.
Harder, Daddy.
Yo, this was
family
so
show.
Cool,
It just went south quick.
We just went down south to Dirty. You heard me?
Not Dirty Larry's.
Mike, get it, man. We spoke about some wonderful things today. I truly appreciate everything you did, man. And I'm so glad that you really came and showed up. This means a lot to me.
Thank you for having me out here. I know it was it was a little bit to get out here, and I was waiting for the movie to be out a little bit over a year. I wanted it to be out. I wanted everybody to see it. We didn't want to give anything away. We wanted everybody who was going to see it a chance to see it. And, didn't want to kind of divulge any secrets because it's still popular. People still
absolutely, yeah.
You still go to Walmart and there's the shelf that says Terrifier 3 and there's never any Blu-rays left.
Oh my God, I was just gonna get there. So this is what happened to me. Can I? This is perfect timing. Like I'm a big believer in the universe, how it works. But I was supposed to bring. I ordered it in 4K. The collector's edition one, and it was supposed to arrive yesterday, and now they're telling me that it's gonna come Thursday. But I went to Walmart; it was sold out.
It's not gonna come Thursday. Thursday's a holiday. It ain't gonna come Thursday.
They're saying like between now and Thursday, so maybe tomorrow. I'm hoping, but I'm like, shit. The whole point was for me to showcase it while we did this episode.
Well, that's all right. We got a cool Art the Clown here on the table over here, which is really cool. This is actually, I think you got this.
Yes, let's explain what you know.
You grabbed this one from us here at Rhode Island. Here is our one of the things that we sell, and Bill signs here. It's the Art the Clown Terrifier Pop.
I can't thank you enough.
Which is really cool. I know Bill signed that on the side for you because you're going to get David and Damien to sign the front for you.
I definitely need them to sign the front.
Get that and I believe the ones for the third movie just came out. The Santa Claus ones just came out.
I need one of those.
Yeah, so we got Art the Clown now in his Santa costume on the art and on the pops, which look really cool. I saw some pictures online of them, but I can't wait to see them in person.
I know that they're very I know Damien perhaps is a very busy man. You think he'll ever show up to Comic-Con in Rhode Island? Or he doesn't really do Comic-Cons?
Oh, he does Comic-Cons all over the place.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Where his schedule allows him to appear, he does, I
would love to meet him one day, man. That'll be awesome. Hopefully next year, right?
Well, he usually does all the big horror ones for sure. Yeah. He always does the big horror ones. You know? Last we were with him and most of the cast at Monster Mania in Maryland earlier in the year. Yeah. We went down there and David was there, David and Damien there, and Lauren and all the rest of the cast was there as well. And they're wonderful people. If you're going to a Comic-Con, you haven't met them, go say hi.
Oh no, you gotta stop by. You gotta stop by.
If you go stand on David's line, you'll bring a sandwich. You're gonna be there a little while because he talks to everybody. His fans mean the most to him. So he really, he speaks. If a fan goes, "Oh, my favorite scene is when you did this."
Yeah.
Hey, I love doing that scene, and he'll, we did this and we did that. He'll give you a little back and forth on it, and he's really wonderful like that. So. And his lines are always really long because he's such a wonderful guy. And
that's not for nothing. That's what builds a loyal fan. Not for nothing. At the end of the day, when you take the time out like that, because like if you meet someone, they just brush you off. Like, oh yeah, thank you so much. And it's like, all right, hurry up next. Who's next? Like that is more memorable than anything is what I'm trying to say,
Well, with Bill, we try to give all the fans a fan experience, which is what it is. We want you to remember the thing. And we try never to bring the same show back twice. We extensively photograph every exhibit that we do so that when we come back to the show the next year or the following year, we don't put the same exhibit up.
Yeah.
Bill's got, 4 or 5 decades worth of stuff that we can always showcase and switch out and rotate around. And even we may bring the same movie same movie theme, we may bring different pieces from that movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like at up there, we brought some pieces from the Dark Crystal that haven't come out in a number of years when you were there. I'm not going to give them away. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, hold on. The Dark Crystal, what is that? Was that another movie?
Yeah, it was another movie. Yeah, the Dark Crystal was made in the early 80s. It was the first movie, I think, that Jim Henson did, you know, that wasn't Muppets. And it was a dark movie. A lot of the fans that come in and they see Chamberlain, the sketchy that we have, they go, "Oh, that movie scared me when I was 5."
I'm gonna have to watch it now. I've never seen that one. I've seen what's the one that was was it Phantasm?
Or you're thinking of Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That one had Bowie in it, and that was a great one there where they ran the Labyrinth. And that was, Bowie did a great performance in that. The late great David Bowie. That was great, and Bill worked with Bowie on that movie too when they did that one. You got to get Bill up here to do one of the guests.
Oh my God, we got to get Bill. We need you to come on the podcast. Yeah.
We'll get you in the truck. We'll get him up here.
Come on, Mike, make that happen for me, man. That'll be crazy to have Bill sit down with me. That'll be insane. We're gonna make it happen.
You know, Bill's got in the studio. We've done podcasts at the studio where he's done podcasts where we haven't been able to attend in person, but you know, throw the mixing board up, get in front of the mic, set the camera up, we tie together, and we do the podcast. So we can make something work.
Let's make something happen.
We can make it work.
Bill in this chair. You know what's funny, man? I know we spoke about many things. What's next for Mike? Anything that I'm missing that you would like to promote? I know Terrifier 4 soon, but anything else you're working on?
Well, we're like I said, December 6th, we're going up to Canada to do a one-day Christmas con, and the promoters of that show asked me to be the Santa Claus for that con, so I'm actually very excited to be doing that in conjunction with Bill Diamond Productions. So we're going to be heading up there and doing that show and entertaining those fans up there. And then I'll be all over the Connecticut area. Hubbard Park in Connecticut is one of my favorite places. I can be found there a couple of times a week, just walking around, dressed as Santa, hiding at the amphitheater. And I take pictures with anybody who wants to take them. I don't charge.
That's cool.
I don't charge for anything. There's a lot of folks that, you know, can't afford to buy presents for kids and go to the mall and get a picture every year.
I know, it's tough.
So I don't charge anybody to take a picture with me wherever I am. If I get dressed up and I go out, I expect it. That's why I do it. I want to be able to give, and people always try to give me money. And I'm like, no. When you see a bell ringer, stick it in the box.
Yeah, give it to them.
Give it to the army. You know, if you know somebody who needs $5, give it to them.
Pay it forward.
Yep, pay it forward. Exactly.
I like that.
So I do that a lot. If you hire me to come to your home, that's a different story.
Yeah. Now you get into VIP.
But you'll get the same experience from me at the park as you would if I come to your home. I only do one show. I only do it one way.
that park that you just mentioned, is that the skate park that they have out there? I went to Escape, has like a whole bunch of graffiti. It's really nice.
No. Hubbard Park is a big, huge park. It's a park in Connecticut, and they do a festival of lights out there, and it's open 24 hours. They usually light it up right after Thanksgiving. And it's all white light exhibit. You can drive through or park your car and walk. And it's a great time. And they have a theater there and a lot of great places to walk. And I like to go there and stop because a lot of group homes and a lot of organizations like that, they bring the residents and things like that through there because, you know, they don't have to pay for it, charge. And they see me and come here, bring everybody off the bus.
Ho.
Bring them off. Get off the bus. Let's take pictures, you know. And I took last season, there was an entire group home of folks that were there and, you know, special needs folks and stuff like that. And I took pictures with everybody and I just had the blast. They were just the most lovingest people. They were just a wonderful time.
That's amazing.
And I love going to Hubbard Park and doing that. So I'll see you guys all out there soon at Hubbard Park.
Make sure you go to Hubbard. Do you go on a specific day? Maybe Christmas Eve?
I usually do Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Usually, I go on those days there. Usually that's where people get paid, so they go out to eat, and then they'll drive through the park, and then, you know.
And look at Santa.
Santa's there, yep. And believe it or not, I live in New Haven, Connecticut, and I always overdo my house to up, and I'll get dressed up, and I'll stand in front of the house, and I'll walk up and down the street where I live on, and just, you know, watch the cars just slow down and go, did I just see Santa walking down?
Am I tripping?
Why is Santa in New Haven?
Do you do those big, you know how they have those Christmas wars between neighbors and stuff? Do you make your house like that? Whole bunch of lights?
No, not that crazy. I just do it enough to get attention in my own neighborhood. You know, I have an 8-foot blow up me in front of my house. That's why I get the cars as it goes by.
That's amazing. What about like the sleigh on top of the roof? Do you do any of that? Like with the reindeers?
I live right on a river and it's too windy. I tried putting some stuff on the roof one time and then it got gusty wind wind came, then I found it down in the driveway. So the rooftop exhibits are off where I live.
That's cool.
I live right on the Quinnipiac River, so it's a little breezy from throughout the holiday season.
Oh, that's a whole nother cut. People take their time doing that stuff. I'm talking, they prepare all year for that stuff, like to make their house look like that.
Well, my good friend Ed, who is actually here in studio with us, he's hanging out over in the corner. Ed Till.
Oh, shout outs to Ed Till. Yes,
he's actually on his worldwide comedy tour, getting ready to do the European leg of it, starting in May.
Yeah.
Sunday he's doing a show up in Greenwich Village at the Whiskey. What's the name of that, Ed?
What's the name of the show?
Whiskey Cellar. Oh, the name of the show. Ed Till. American Mouth.
Wow.
Ed Till, the American Mouth, and it's going to be at the Whiskey down at Greenwich Village, and we're going to be videotaping that one for Ed. So I'm going to be doing some cinematography work for him on that show down there this coming Sunday down there. So that's the next project.
Oh wait, hold on a second. You didn't mention so you film as well? You know how to film?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a man of many trades. I like that.
Well, we have a TV show that we do. It's called Bill Diamond on the Road, and it's how we take our the show that we do to Comic-Cons all over the country, and we do little silly bits and gags all over the place. So I star in the show as well as when I'm not in front of it, I'm behind the camera doing it for somebody else to be in a gag or a bit. And you can find that on BillDiamondProductions.net.
Nice.
Or you can go on Roku and put on BDP Plus and check out all of that great stuff on there. And we got another series that we're very proud of that just premiered last month. Basil Gogo's King of the Monster Artists. It's a whole series, a docu-series about the late, great, legendary Basil Gogo, the artist. He painted more than 50 covers for Famous Monster magazine alone. So.
Wow.
So if you're a fan of the Famous Monsters and just, it's a wonderful documentary series. You can't really do a documentary on anybody in an hour and a half. You got to do a whole series.
Oh, no, it takes time, right? We're talking months.
So we're going to do a 38-episode docu-series. We're going to showcase every aspect of his talent, and it's a totally unique approach to doing it. Instead of just like 90 minutes, you can't really tell a story. You can introduce somebody in 90 minutes, but you really can't showcase them. So we're going to showcase over 37 more episodes because we have one out now.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you do editing as well? Or you just film?
No, we have great editors back in the studio. Jude is one of them, and Tiffany is another one. We have some great editors and stuff like that. We have wonderful people that handle all of that. We just give them great stuff to work with, and then they make it better.
Yeah, editing's a whole nother monster. I'm not going to lie.
That's a monster in and of itself, yeah. And that's where Damien, he does all of the editing for the Terrifier movies. He's the editor of the movie. He puts them all together himself.
Wow.
After all the filming was done, he went down and he's got all of his editing equipment at his home, and he was at home and
Puts it together.
Put it together. Locked the door, sent for a pizza, and we're making a movie.
That's amazing. Oh my God, I'm super excited.
Put on a little Ice Kills, and Ice 9 Kills, and he rocked out and made the movie.
Light up the candles.
We're
not going to say all that, right?
What he does when the door's closed.
Yeah. Now, where can people follow you social media-wise? Do you have any social media?
I have my own website, santanewengland.com.
Just the website.
And Santa New England on Facebook, yeah.
You're not doing no TikToks or nothing like that?
That's for the younger crowd,
He's like, I'm all set.
You're not going to catch me 6'7" and nowhere in a comedy
6'7".
club. You're not going to be doing that anymore.
I hear it. But nowadays, not for nothing, that's like the new thing. Everybody, the social media thing, man, like it's a new form of promotion.
That's true. In the old days, you used to read a newspaper. Today, it's social media. Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get you an Instagram at least.
You wanted to know what was going on? You used to grab the Village Voice.
Oh my God, you're bringing it back. I remember I used to read that paper on the train.
Everybody did.
Yeah. And then they had the free newspaper that they used to give in the mornings. I don't know if you remember that. And
you would take the what was it, the A, the B, or the C downtown, get off in Greenwich to go to Other Music, and you would pick up a copy of that and hit up Other Music and get some crazy CDs that nobody would ever heard.
Absolutely.
Pick up some Bootsy Collins or some Zillotron or Lord of the Harvest or some off the wall stuff you would find down in the Village. Yeah.
Don't you miss those times going to Tower Records and stuff like that?
I do. I was always a provider of the small independent places. I always liked going in there because they always had like the off labels, like Rhino Records and all these crazy places that have these small labels and
I know
these crazy weird stuff.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I went to Tower Records I think before they closed, obviously because it doesn't exist anymore. But I ended up getting on the escalator, and you know who's coming down the escalator? You'll never believe. Biggie Small's mother. Before she passed away.
Oh,
really? That was crazy.
Piece of Biggie.
They're like, that's Biggie's mom. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I go down. She was mad nice, super humble, soft spoken. crazy, man. Like you don't get that, going to record shops. Like that was the stuff you see.
And that's true. Some of in the old fashioned day, in the older days, a lot of the older celebrities, they were a lot more approachable. They could walk around and stuff. Now with these Comic-Cons and everything, that's kind of an exclusive where you meet everybody. Right. I was coming up the platform, took this train into New York City, Grand Central Station, and I'm walking up the platform, 32nd Street, coming up on the platform, and I shoulder bumped this guy and I knock him down, this older gentleman. I felt terrible. I wasn't paying attention. I don't think he was either. It was kind of like a 50-50. He was walking in, I was chatting with who I was, and we bumped and he almost fell, and I caught him and picked him up, and it was George Carlin.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's like that.
So, and he turned out to be this great guy. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was him in the beginning, and he introduced me up, George Carlin. I was like, yeah. Then he did like 5 minutes. I couldn't breathe. He had me in stitches, and then he walked away. But
it's like in New York. That's
New York.
Only in New York City. I always tell people they can say whatever they want. I love New England, but New York's that one place.
My very first celebrity I ever met was in New York. My father and me were on our way back from the Smithsonian, and we were on the bus, and we were sitting across, and this guy is wearing this T-shirt that says "Amazing Stories." Yeah. That was a show that hadn't come out yet, and it was like a show an hour-long show of like 15-minute little shorts. And Mark Hamill was doing one of these. Now, Luke Skywalker was the biggest thing, too. Oh, wow. My generation, anyway.
Yeah, Star Wars. I'm your father.
And he was going to do an episode of the show, and they were advertising it on TV and everything, but it wasn't out yet. And I noticed this Amazing Stories T-shirt, and I'm going, Dad, it's Luke Skywalker. And my dad's going, shut up, mind your business. Look at your feet. You know what to do on the bus.
It was?
And I'm, Dad, it's Luke Skywalker. And he's a gentleman, he's holding like a baby. I'm about 10 years old, 12 years old. And, I'm convinced this is Luke Skywalker because, he's the biggest thing in the world. I'm 12 years old. There's nothing bigger than Star Wars. So I'm going, Dad, it's Luke Skywalker. Shut up, mind your business. No, it's not. Bus stopped. The gentleman gets off the bus. Just as the bell rings and the doors start going, I jump off the bus. I see my father like banging on the back of the bus, like, what are you doing? And I walked over and I was like, Luke. And he's like, well, actually, it's Mark, but yes.
Oh, wow.
And I was right. And 2 minutes later, my father comes running up. He must have pulled the handle and got off the bus.
I'm going to whoop your ass.
And I was like, Dad, Mark Hamill. And my dad goes,
yeah,
yeah. So there was no camera phones in those days, no cell phones. If you wanted to make a phone call, you had to find a quarter in a corner.
I know.
And, or maybe even a dime and a pull tab, depending on how old you are.
Yeah, that's how it was.
And there was a guy, remember the street vendors that used to sell postcards and all that stuff on the street? There was a guy selling postcards and grabbed a postcard. And Mark signed my first autograph on the back of a postcard to Mike, Follow the Force, Mark Hamill. That was the very first autograph I ever got. And it sits on my desk right above my seat to this day.
You still have it?
Oh, of course I still have it. Wow. Why would? Oh, yeah.
Things like that, they like inspire you, right? Like when you see that, you're like, wow, it's not that far-fetched.
And Bill is actually friends with Mark Hamill. So he called him on the phone one day when he was over at my house up in the office.
Did he remember?
And he says, hey, Mark, I'm going to take a picture and show you something. And he snapshotted it and sent it to him. And he goes, where did you get that? And he put me on the phone with him, and I told him the story, and he goes, yeah, I kind of don't remember.
They don't remember.
I said, of course you don't remember. It was like 40 years ago, but I remember I was 12.
Yeah.
So I got to tell him the story on the telephone. So I got to talk to him on the phone, in my house. Bill had him on the phone, and it was really cool. I spent 2 minutes on the phone with him telling him the story, and he was like, well, we're going to go to dinner one day, and you're going to tell me again. And I was like, so I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully one day we'll get to go to dinner with Mark. And
oh, man, you got to get me an autograph. I'm a big Star Wars fan, too. That's crazy.
And I'll get to tell him the story in person instead of over the phone, but it was fun to tell him over the phone.
That is, it's funny that you did say that because I remember, I'm into hip hop, obviously, but like I remember meeting Fat Joe. I met him like twice. And then the first time I met him was in a barbershop, and the same thing happened. I'm like, oh, can I get an autograph? He's like, yeah, what do you want me to sign? And I had no pen, no paper, no nothing, no camera, obviously, because we're talking, this was the disposable now. This is in the 90s.
Kodak throwaway.
Yeah, Kodak. I didn't have that. He's like, well, I don't know. I guess I'll see you another day, right? And then I ended up seeing him again, and I had since that moment, I carry like this little memo pad I used to have and like a pen. And then I seen him again, and he signed the memo pad, and he gave me $20 and signed it.
Now the phones are great. Now they got the little stylus, and you can get an autograph without having, and they can take and they can sign it like that, right?
Yeah,
and you can keep it forever like that.
Yeah. We've come such a long way, right?
As a matter of fact, Bill, when I first got the phone, I was trying to figure out how to use it. He took it and he doodled a Kermit the Frog. I still have it somewhere on there. I hit the save on it, and he drew it in green, a digital Kermit the Frog.
Speaking of that, his autograph is amazing. Like he really puts effort into signing things.
It's here's the camera to see it here a little bit. But Bill's autograph really is wonderful. It really is. It's First, he starts off by making the diamond, then he signs his name. You know, the logo
That's
goes
so
first
cool.
and everything.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the company logo, Bill Diamond Productions, and he signs it that way as well. And it's a great autograph. And
I've never seen nothing like it. Like when I got it, I was like, oh shit, he does like, you know, puts time into it.
he does. And when he'll sign one of his pictures or prints or whatever, and then they put them into a brown paper bag, and then he signs the bag again. So you for every one you get, he gives you two. So it's really cool. And most folks go, oh boy, now I got to buy 2 frames. I got to frame the bag and I got to frame the picture.
I got my little shop of horrors. I framed mine. I'm gonna send you a picture of it actually.
There you go.
Yeah. So man, this is an amazing episode. Not for nothing. Can we agree that all the experiences that you went through got you to where you are today? Absolutely.
That's where all life's lefts and rights always take you to where you are in the present moment.
Yeah. Any advice out there for those who may be experiencing some tough times or situations? You know, something that you went through or, you know, are going through now. What would you tell them?
You know, there's always a friend. If you're having a hard time, just talk to a friend. You know, if you're having a hard time, if you're feeling down, just talk to a buddy. And sometimes just talking to a buddy, even if it's non-related to the problem, it might make you feel better. Talk about football, talk about baseball, talk about the weather.
Yeah.
Don't get into a political argument. Don't do that. That won't make you feel no better. So leave that one off the table. But, you know, talk about anything else you'd like, you know, anything in general or nothing at all. I have a few friends that, you know, are single guys, and I reach out to them all the time just to talk, especially around the holidays. They can get a little lonely.
I was going to say that.
Like that. So, you know, a buddy, I got a few friends. So I always call them. I call them, you know, a couple, 2-3 times a week and make sure I stay in contact. But, you know, Santa New England is the website. If you want to talk to me, Santa Sleigh's number is there. You can reach out and just say hi. Facebook, same thing. Goes right to me. Mrs. Claus gets it, and we answer everything. So if you just want to talk, if you're having a hard time, just reach out and I'll chat with you.
Because I was going to say, you know, all that is, it's a beautiful time for families, right? But there's a lot of people that don't have family, and it's a rough time for them.
And that's kind of like why I like going to Hubbard Park, you know, because a lot of, you know, people like to go there, they see the lights, but, you know, and then they see and they kind of get excited, and I take a picture with them, and, you know, we have a good time in it, even if it's just for the moment.
Yeah.
If you can get out of your life for a moment and enjoy yourself, even if it's for 10 minutes, then it's worth it.
You know what's fun? Not to switch it up too much, but my daughter's 11 now, so I think she already knows that Santa's not real, right? But she's playing it off this year because I told her the other day, she's like, here's my list for Santa, and then she gives me 2 more lists. I'm like, you only could do 1 list. She's like, no, there's 1 for you, and then there's 2 for Santa. And I'm like, what?
You slide it to me on the slide, and I'll send her a letter back in the mail.
I was going to tell you, I was like, can I call you and you talk to him, make sure she does good this year?
Of course. I was actually hoping to see her today. I realized she's probably in school.
Nah, she's in school. She's off tomorrow, the whole week, but... Yeah, that's so cool. I know, because this is all usually the cutoff year. Once they hit 12 and 13, they already know Santa's not, you know, real. So
it depends on the family and how much peer pressure they get. I think they still believe until they're like 13 or 14.
Yeah,
they just don't like to admit it amongst their friends because, you know,
it's a beautiful thing for parents, but it's very stressful. Like I remember last year we went to Connecticut actually to see my family, and I'm like, fuck, now what am I gonna do when we get back home? The gifts have to be under the Christmas tree. So we get home, like, you need to go to your upstairs to your room. And she's like, oh, but I want to see my gifts. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna be there. Like I had to play it all, get the gifts out the closet. It's like, it's a lot of work when you have a kid, like trying to make it believable, you know. But
well, you know,
it's a beautiful thing.
I had a great mentor as a Santa Claus, and his name is actually Santa. He lives in Long Island. I affectionately call him my dad. And I went with him on this one gig. Met this little boy out of all things, another Comic-Con story. And his name is TJ, and he had cystic fibrosis. So he was suffering from, and he was in remission. So we gave him the grand tour at Chiller, you know, VIP experience to all the celebrities. Everybody was gracious. And, you know, the family was like every other family at Christmas time. They can't get everything everybody wants. And TJ wanted some really expensive collectibles, like a Michael Jackson Thriller thing that was like $600 and something else.
You got good taste.
And something else. And it was, you know, a couple of those gifts were just unobtainable. So another friend of mine, Chris, who lives in New Jersey, who's a member of a motorcycle club, charity motorcycle club. I called him up and said, hey, there's this child out in New Jersey. You know, this is what we got to get for him. I said, stick your head out, go around the room to some of the boys and see what you get.
Wow.
Within 15 minutes, I got an email that the present was on its way. He went and ordered it and sent it to the house. So we took all this stuff and, you know, Dad, Santa, and we went to visit his house day out on Christmas Day.
Wow.
We went, you know, like 2:00 in the afternoon, we got there, and where he's all dressed up and he's got the bag and he's got the present in it. And he wrote his letter to Santa. And I even had the letter, and I gave it to Dad. He crumples it up and puts it in his pocket. And And we get to the house, we knock on the door. TJ comes down the stairs and opens the door. His face falls on the ground. My heart melted.
Wow.
It melted. He saw him, immediately started crying, and he leans in, he goes, I'm terribly sorry. The elves forgot to put a couple of things in the sleigh. Could I come in and give them to you? And he runs up the stairs, and we follow him up. We come in with this whole entourage of people, Santa, me, my wife, Chris, and, you know, who got the presents for him and everything. We all show up Christmas morning at the house and sits down, sitting with him, and we're chatting with him. Santa's chatting with him, and Santa reaches into the pocket and pulls out his letter and opens it up, and he melts again.
Yeah.
And just seeing him hold that letter melted my heart again. And I said, you know, I can do that too.
Yeah.
I can do what he does. I can do that too. Not as good as him, but I can do that too.
Yeah.
So he started reading The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I started pantomiming the story, you know, dancing around like a fool. And when it was all done, he came over to me and said, you know, when I retire, I want you to take over. So a couple of years ago, he gave me his robe, and then I went on a Santa probation.
Oh, so that's how it happened?
That's exactly how it happened. And,
Wow.
and last year, he gave me my final piece. He gave me the hat that matches the robe. Now, my robe is about 70 years old.
Yeah.
It was given to him, so he passed it along to me. So now I have the full set and the hat and the robe. So I'm officially initiated into the club.
So they have like a whole community, right?
There is a crazy secret society of Santas. They have
That's so cool.
They have whole Santa conventions. They're a little scary. I've heard some nightmare stories. I've never been to one. I don't think I'm going to go to any of them.
You should go.
No,
Let me film it.
It's a bunch of just a bunch of old guys with white beards running around handing out calendars of each other, of them like sitting in wash tubs.
I'm the real Santa.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Santas in the off time, just like taking pictures of themselves in nature, like making calendars out of them. It's like,
That is crazy.
I find no appeal in that, so I'm not going to.
Yeah. So so literally to become a Santa, this is interesting to know. It has to be passed down to you more or less?
Not really, but there is a
Traditionally.
There is a tradition. There is a society of it, and there
That's
is
cool.
an expectation. You know, and you don't want to be shunned by the Santa world. You know, I don't pay any attention to that because I do it my way.
You know what's funny? Not to get to this is great. We just keep going. This is amazing. Ernest Saves Christmas, one of my favorite Santa movies of all time. You remember that one?
I do remember that one. And, it's great. My friend Pat Horgan, who was actually my music teacher from when I was a kid, and we're still great friends now. His kids loved Ernest Christmas. So Pat, to this, Pat still watches Ernest, the Christmas Ernest movie.
Yeah.
I think that reminds him when his boys were small. You know, they're married now with kids and everything, the whole 9 yards. But Pat's a great guy. Shout out to Pat Horgan.
Shout outs to Pat Horgan. I like it. Give me three of your favorite. I'll give you three of mine real quick. Ernest Saves Christmas, A Christmas Story, of course, right? And then last but not least, we got to say The Grinch. How about for yourself?
Oh, well, you know, The Grinch is a classic, but A Christmas Story is my favorite. You know,
Right.
the official Red Ryder carbine action,
Yeah.
200 range
I have one.
rifle
Yeah.
with a compass in the stock and this thing which tells time. I have 3.
Oh, wow. You know, I can't figure out how to use it, though. I bought the BBs for it and everything. I don't...
Well, they come with this wonderful booklet. It's called Instructions.
I was so... I still can't figure it out to this
Watch
day.
the movie. He shows you how to do it in the movie.
I don't want to shoot my eye out.
Leave the BBs out. But Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, that's a good one.
Miracle on 34th Street. It's a Wonderful Life. The classics are all
of
great.
course.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody says.
People do mention it as well.
Go online, look it up. Bruce Willis himself, before unfortunately he's sick now, but before he got sick, he did himself say that it is not a Christmas movie. So I'm going to go with him. He was in it. But Gremlins is a Christmas.
Oh, Gremlins.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
That was one or two? That was one, right?
One. The first one. The first one was a Christmas
Wow,
movie.
you bring it back.
I like the old guy. He kept saying, but it's a Kentucky Harvester. He
Yeah. That's a Funko that I got to buy too. I want to get I like the Gremlin with the glasses. Yeah, the shades.
Yeah. You know, the late Mark Dodson did a lot of the work on Gremlins 2 for all of the green characters. And he was also the voice of Salacious Crumb in Return of the Jedi. And Mark was a good friend. So a shout out to Mark. We love you, Mark, up in heaven, wherever you are. You know, the last time I talked to Mark was actually last Christmas before. I sent him a happy holiday, and then he passed away in February. But
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Mark
My
Dodson was a
condolences.
great guy. Yep. But every time I see the Gremlins movie and I see a gremlin in Blender, I think of Mark.
Yeah. Man, this is amazing. Any last words of special shout outs before we sign off?
I'd just like to thank everybody for listening to the Jmack show here and listening to us babble on here for about an hour now.
Yeah.
Which is great. We really appreciate that one. And thank you to the fans and thank you to everybody coming out and supporting us at the Comic-Con. And thanks to all my friends and family for supporting me through all of the stuff that I do and all the crazy stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
And what's yet to come.
Yeah, what's yet to come, right? Man.
And, you know, we so would say hello to my friend Jen at home, and a big shout out to my wife Kelly at home too. Love you, dear. And we'll see you soon. We're be home in a little while.
Absolutely. And shout outs to Ed. He's been so patient here, sitting there. You know, thank you for joining us as well, Ed.
Oh, you know what? You got to catch out of
Ed, come out, man. Let's get you on camera over here real quick.
You step on over out here.
Just be careful with the camera there.
Oh, he knows.
You can come this side. Yeah, come this side. We got to say, hey, man, make sure you guys follow Ed. Now, he has an Instagram. What's the Instagram?
At EDTYLL. Love to see you guys there.
Absolutely. Follow Ed. He's doing a bunch of crazy stuff this entire week. He came up to my house for the holiday. We're going to have Thanksgiving together. And then he's going to pick back up his tour again, which is Sunday in Village there. And then I think February or March, he's embarking on a European tour.
Really? Overseas?
He's going to start in Italy, and he's going to work his way all across Europe to China and India and back. He's going to hit comedy gigs all across.
Oh, that's amazing.
Next year he's got plans to do the big comedy show in Edinburgh, Scotland. He's going to hit that one up, and he's just blowing up even more than he's already blown up.
We're going to have to get Ed. We need you back on the show, man. I'm so mad I didn't know you was coming. Well, I did know, but I didn't really know, like, you know, what you do. So this is going to be amazing. So we'll definitely have you come back, and we'll speak about all the wonderful things you're doing. Going through Europe, geesh.
He's a brave man.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think we covered everything, right? Pretty much?
I think so. And, you know, the dinosaurs came and then they turned into oil. Okay, we got that. And now we're ready to roll.
Shout outs to the sponsors. Shout outs to Black Sheep Sea Moss. Shout outs to Space Style Snacks. Shout outs to Vitamin Energy. Shout outs to Conversation Studio. Been rocking with me since day one. If you guys want to get your studio time, make sure you hit them up.
Yeah, this is a great studio. I've been at a lot of studios over the years, and this is a really nice studio. A lot of modern boards, state of the art, a lot of great cameras.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's a wonderful place. It's got a very comfortable atmosphere. You know, and it's a very modern studio. It's a great place to do a show.
Oh yeah, the Jmack Experience Podcast, episode 125.
125, Jmack.
We're marking the milestones here as we keep going. Make sure you guys tune in. Shout outs to Mike. Shout outs to everybody at the Terrifier crew. We truly appreciate you. And stay tuned, man. Terrifier 4 coming out soon. We don't know when, but
it's coming soon.
But we're going to get a day soon, hopefully.
But as the story goes, we'll stay it with style.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas, everyone. And I'll see you again in a little while.
Happy holidays. You already know. We're signing out. Thanks for coming on the Jmack Experience Podcast. Be sure to come on for another episode every single week. Until next time, peace.